There's a major political fire raging over how appropriate it is for Prime Minister Narendra Modi to head to Ayodhya for the grand stone-laying ceremony, the Bhumi Pujan of the Ram Temple. Now remember, there has been no official announcement yet from the Prime Minister's office that he will head to Ayodhya for this Bhumi Pujan, but what we do know is that the Ram Temple Trust is very keen on having him. The UP government is already laying elaborate arrangements in Ayodhya for the Prime Minister to be present for 2 hours, and the opposition is deeply upset, saying the Prime Minister would be setting a wrong example because we're in the middle of a massive pandemic. The virus won't stop. Huge number of people may descend in Ayodhya. Social distancing norms may not be followed. So on the news track tonight, we'll delve into how justified or unjustified would be a Prime Minister visit to Ayodhya for this grand Bhumi Pujan. But before that, let me show you how the political face-off has been brewing all through the day, and then we'll kickstart the news track showdown. We also have exclusive insights into what the Ram Temple will look like. We've spoken to the architect who made that temple. He's given us the design. It's a beautiful design. We'll show you what the Ram Temple could look like. But let's just get started and show you our lead story tonight.
Come August 5, and the foundation will be laid for the Ram Temple in Ayodhya. A Bhumi Pujan ceremony is planned and Prime Minister Modi is likely to attend. Sources have told India Today Prime Minister may join the crucial event between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. on August 5, while the rituals may start at 8 a.m. According to the Ram Janmabhoomi Trust, the Muhurat or the auspicious moment will be for 32 seconds at 12:15 p.m. A total of 200 people, including 150 invitees, would be allowed for the Bhumi Pujan. The trust says that the list of invitees has been capped because of the COVID-19 contagion. But AIMIM has now questioned the grand plan. Party MP Imtiaz Jalil accused the Modi government of hypocrisy, asking if social distancing norms are allowed, will namaz be allowed too?
देखिए, ये जितने भी त्योहारों के ताल्लुक से आप निर्बंध डाल रहे हैं, आप कंडीशंस डाल रहे हैं, क्या वो सिर्फ लोगों के लिए है और देश के वजीर आजम के लिए नहीं है? उनके एक प्रवक्ता ने कहा कि नहीं, हम पूरा सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग का पालन करने वाले हैं प्रधानमंत्री। तो प्रधानमंत्री जी, हम भी आपको कहना चाहते हैं, हम भी पूरा सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग का पालन करते हुए हमको भी नमाज पढ़ने की इजाजत दी जाए।
Just a few weeks ago, NCP chief Sharad Pawar had targeted the Modi government by saying that prioritizing the construction of a temple would not cure coronavirus. The decades-long Ayodhya land dispute may have concluded with the Supreme Court verdict, but there's no end to the politics on the issue.
जलील जी को मेरा सवाल है कि आपको ईद की चिंता है या राम मंदिर का विरोध है? आप जो राम मंदिर का बार-बार बोल रहे हैं कि आपका असली मुद्दा क्या है?
The Bhumi Pujan ceremony has already been delayed due to the coronavirus pandemic. With just over 10 days to go for the foundation stone-laying ceremony, the Temple Trust is moving ahead with its grand plans. Bureau Report, India Today.
Prime Minister Modi's visit to Ayodhya hasn't even been officially confirmed, and even before that, a political firestorm rages over whether it's justified for the Prime Minister to go for the groundbreaking ceremony of the Grand Ram Temple in the middle of a pandemic or not. Joining us on the news track showdown is Imtiaz Jalil. He's the Lok Sabha Member of Parliament of the All India Majlis-e-Ittehadul Muslimin, the AIMIM. He's the one who's fired that pot shot at the Prime Minister, questioning the purpose of his visit, the timing of his visit, and drawing the duality which he claims is at play between Bakrid and the stone-laying ceremony. With us for a perspective from the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party, its spokesperson, Rajya Sabha Member of Parliament, a man who knows a lot about this whole battle, which will finally see some culmination when the temple construction starts, is Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi. For a perspective from the Vishwa Hindu Parishad, which has been a flag bearer of the Ram Temple movement, we are joined by its spokesperson Shriraj Nair. And for a counter perspective, we're joined by Atikur Rahman, who's a well-known Islamic scholar. So I'd like to start this debate by asking Imtiaz Jaleel of the AIMIM to set out his objection to the Prime Minister's visit to Ayodhya, because the Ram Temple movement is a hard-fought victory for the BJP and its supporters, and as the leader of the party at this moment, after having fought this battle for decades, is the Prime Minister not justified if he wants to go for the Bhumi Pujan of the Ram Temple in Ayodhya, which starts on the 5th of August? Why are you objecting to this?
Rahul, let me tell you, there is a reason why I made that particular statement. Maharashtra government, which is of Shiv Sena, Congress and the NCP, they have issued a circular regarding how the festival should be celebrated. And you know, in the month of August, we have 4 major festivals, starting with Bakri Eid, which is Eid ul-Adha, followed by Shravan month for the Hindus, and then the 10-day mega Ganpati festival, which is the biggest festival for Hindus in Maharashtra. And then you have Muharram. So for these festivals, the government have issued certain guidelines that these are the things you can do, these are the things you cannot do. And among the guidelines that they have issued for Eid is that you will have to buy online animals. You will not have to go to the bazaars to buy those animals. Now, my contention is that after these 4 months of lockdown that we had observed, in the last 4 months, everybody followed religiously whatever was prescribed to them by the administration, by the police, by the government. And all those festivals, including of all the religions, whether it was Eid or Ram Navami or Ambedkar Jayanti, everybody followed it. Now things have changed. Now you have markets, you have opened all the shops, you have opened bazaars, everything is open now. And this time, what I suggested is, since these are all major festivals, why are you not allowing the mandirs, the masjids, gurdwaras and churches to open with all the conditions, whatever conditions you want to impose that. Like for instance, in Maharashtra, you have said that you can have marriage ceremonies in which only 50 people can participate. Now, on that contention, what I am asking the government is, why not allow them 50 persons to attend, to visit mandirs or masjids or any other religious place? Well, the condition only is you will have to just put on your mask and maintain the social distance. So if you are allowing 50 persons, that means only 50 persons can enter the mandirs.
If you had already known that there were thousands of people coming, sadhus and seers and netas, who would violate all kinds of social distancing norms when the Ram Temple construction started, then you could have made this objection. At this moment, neither the Ram Temple Trust nor the government has announced the plan. You don't know whether social distancing will be followed or not. They're making very clear that all pandemic norms will be followed and it will be limited to very few people. Therefore, is your attack not presumptive? Is your attack not virtually reflecting a bias that you're assuming that all of what is being applied to other festivals will not be followed when this function is organized, Imtiaz?
Rahul, I have issued by the Maharashtra. One ridiculous order that they have passed is that while you are observing this Eid ul-Adha, just imagine you are doing symbolic sacrifice of the animals. Now tell me, isn't there a religious significance to every festival that we celebrate? Now, how can the government come out with such type of a ridiculous ruling that you just organize it symbolically, that you have done your sacrifice, have celebrated this festival? You know, in Marathi they have said, given it in writing, that pratikatmak kurbani kara, which means an imaginative type of kurbani that you can do. Now, my question is, if you are imposing such type of restrictions on one festival, then what is the need for the Prime Minister when he knows very well that Corona is still there in this country, and the first priority before the country, irrespective of what political party you are, of what faith you are, everybody has to fight with Corona. And here comes the Prime Minister who announces that on 5th he's going to Ayodhya. Does that mean he has he had a discussion with coronavirus, and the coronavirus has said, Mr. Pradhan Mantri, since you are going to Ayodhya, I will not be reaching there. I will not be troubling anyone. Now the logical question is, when you are imposing this, when you are telling the Muslim community to observe virtual sacrifice, then can't the Prime Minister of this country do the virtual puja sitting at his home? I know Mr. Sudhanshu will say,
so you've set the stage for this. You've set the stage for this debate. Don't preempt what Sudhanshu may or may not say. Let him speak for himself and for the Bharatiya Janata Party. And I want to take our viewers through the government's.
Just 2 hours back. So I just want to say, if you are telling us to do the
let him speak. 1 second. Imtiaz Saab, you've spoken for 4 minutes. No, Imtiaz Saab, let's be fair. We like to run a fair and square debate. You've spoken for 4 minutes. You've laid the grounds for your objection. Now let Sudhanshu respond in his own way. Sudhanshu ji, I'll take you through the government guidelines for Bakar-Eid, which are that citizens should make symbolic sacrifice if possible. Livestock markets should remain closed. If citizens want to buy animals, it should be online or by telephone. Now the likes of Imtiaz Jalil are saying, why can't the same norms not apply for the construction of the Ram temple? Why can't it happen via a remote switch with the Prime Minister sitting at his home office? Let Sudhanshu Trivedi respond. Dr. Trivedi.
I'm unable to comprehend what he is trying to say in the last 4 minutes. And despite being he's from Maharashtra, I think he is not having the proper grammatical meaning of the word pratikatmak either in Marathi or in Hindi. Pratikatmak is symbolic, not virtual. There is a huge difference between virtual means there is nothing in and present. Symbolic means there is something present, but I symbolize it. As you were preempting, I am just saying that this Bakr-Eid has been cherished by the Muslims in memory of whom? हजरत इब्राहिम ने अपने बेटे को खुदा के हुक्म पे कर दिया था ज़िबा करने के लिए. So none of the person in real terms gives his son for sacrifice. Rather than they go for symbolic way, and the symbol is bakra. So you already is doing the symbolic thing. You are not doing the actual thing. And moreover, you know what is the meaning of the word bakra? Bakr is an Arabic word, which means the huge, the big one. That's why Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. It doesn't mean he is Bakra. He is big. So Bakra means big element. Arey big animal tha, to hathi ghoda ut kariye. But because it is an undivided India, since goat or this related to cow family are considered, so this is being used as a symbolic sacrifice. You will find nowhere बकरी तो अरब में पाई नहीं जाती थी भाई, तो कहां से बकरी sacrifice करने की बात आ गई? I can challenge you. Can you show a single instance or single reference in Islamic text in which the goat sacrifice is prescribed in Bakri? So that's why I'm saying your purpose is already symbolic, and that symbol is also not actual. It is local. So nothing significant about that. And after that, हम भी आपसे कहना चाहते हैं, जो आपने वर्चुअल कहा, तो पूरी नवरात्र गुजर गई, किसी ने जाके देवी माँ की मूर्ति के सामने प्रसाद नहीं लिया, टीवी से तो लिया. And third thing, totally scientific. It surfaced 10 years. Oh, sorry.
You just said, keep the thing in other room for one day and then use it. But on the living
entity, it survives perpetually. तो जिंदा जानवर आप लेके आएंगे तो कोरोना कैरियर है. That's why government might be thinking, don't go in the open market, because they cannot ensure sanitized bakras for each and everywhere. They can do it for a very limited outlets. तो आज बिल्कुल जिंदा जानवर कोरोना का कैरियर है.
No.
And with due humility, I would like to say,
Sudhanshu ji, you've dealt with the Bakr-Eid part of Imtiaz Jalil's assertion, but you haven't dealt with the fear of this being a possible, one second, about this being a possible vector for the virus. You haven't dealt with the assertion that this could be a possible vector for the virus, because when the Prime Minister goes, we are told the chief ministers from all over will come. Naturally, every sadhu, sant, locals in Ayodhya will want to come. So no matter what the government says in terms of how many people should come, in the end, many more people may land up creating the fear, as we've seen in churches in South Korea and elsewhere, that religious congregations have been amongst the biggest sources of the spread of the virus. It is a real fear. Respond to this aspect as well, Dr. Trivedi.
Okay. If anybody is saying that so many people come suddenly on its own, I think they are either illogical or ridiculous. Because even in a normal program of Prime Minister, nobody can enter even in that area, kilometers away from that, without permission. Then how you can think that suddenly hundreds of people will come? The people will be counted and the place and persons will be upon his hand. But on the other hand, what Mr. Jalil is trying to sanitize are neither in Maharashtra nor all over India. So there is no comparison at all. And finally, if he's saying that going to Ram temple is having some religious connotation, it means Mahatma Gandhi's Samadhi, which is written Hey Ram, is a religious thing. Is it so? It is communal. Because Hey Ram is written on the Mahatma Gandhi's Samadhi. And if you want to say that the Bhagwan Ram has something to do with the religion, then the first lady of the South Korea says that their descent is from Bhagwan Ram. She is not Hindu. The Thailand king holds the title King Rama the Ninth. He is not Hindu. In Hare Rama, Hare Krishna movement, they are not Hindu. And the only country in the world which every day broadcasts Ramayana on their national broadcaster is the biggest Muslim in the world, Indonesia. So what and in the fundamental rights chapter of the Indian Constitution in their original book, the picture of Bhagwan Ram is there. It is constitutional, it is cultural, it is eternal, it is international. The problem is with them is mental.
Okay, so you've given a philosophical, cultural, religious answer, but I'll deal with the first part of what you said and get Imtiaz Jalil to respond to that. You were saying Bakar Eid itself is symbolic, and it is. It's not the actual sacrifice of the sun, it's the sacrifice of something to represent the sacrifice of the sun. And it's never about goats actually being killed, it's about a grand sacrifice, and it just happens to in this case be because in the Indian cultural context it's goats. And therefore, if from the very beginning the whole idea is a symbolic idea, should you then really, Imtiaz Jalil, be objecting in the way that you are? Imtiaz Jalil.
What Dr. Sudhanshu has said about his great knowledge about Islam and why this Eid is celebrated. Using that same logic, we have heard so many times all these years कि भगवान राम कन-कन में बसते हैं. Now, using the same theory, can we not say, why can't the Prime Minister, instead of going all the way to Ayodhya, just now I was reading a headline, I was just going through a headline on a news channel that UP is facing a lot of problems to tackle coronavirus, and here comes the Prime Minister on 5th saying that no, since I am the Prime Minister of the country, if I am going to Ayodhya, coronavirus, I have already spoken to coronavirus, and coronavirus is not going to come to Ayodhya or Uttar Pradesh because I am going, the Supreme Commander is going. That can't be the logic. If Bhagwan Ram kan-kan mein baste hai, then please tell the Honorable Prime Minister to stay in his home, in his palace, and perform the same ritual from instead of going out and performing that in front of so many people. And definitely there can't be any doubt, even if you count the number of security persons that will be there on that day in Ayodhya, they will be not in hundreds but in thousands. So when you are gathering all these people, and when the same government is saying everybody should take care about coronavirus. Now we have waited all these years for this Babri Masjid, Ram Janambhoomi temple to resolve. The Supreme Court came out with an order. We respect that. We abide by what the Supreme Court has said. We have no objection in the government going ahead with building the Ram temple. But the big question is, doesn't the Prime Minister know his priorities? Doesn't he know that coronavirus still exists in this country? This program could have been postponed for at least 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, and after that you could have organized a grand program, because it was only on the basis of this issue that your government came into power. It was only and only because of Bhagwan Ram that Narendra Modi and his government came into power at the center. A number of state governments also won because of this particular issue. So let the country celebrate that after 2 months.
We're having this.
My only question is, what is the hurry?
So we're having this news track showdown, which is marrying.
Prime Minister says, no, I will go out.
Okay, so we're having a news track showdown which is marrying philosophy, religion and politics. You must respond to the Kankan analogy. If there's Bhagwan Ram everywhere, then why do you need to go to that physical site? It is true that in Indian religion, Indian mythology, we believe that God Ram is present all around us. So that's part one. Part two, you said that the Prime Minister goes there, security will be followed, norms will be in place. True, but that's just in the event where the Prime Minister is present. But all around Ayodhya, you know well that there will be lots of people who will want to come. So while you may restrict entry into the Prime Minister's event, what about the rest of the city and what happens there? Norms could be violated there. And also on the question of priorities. If life is on a hold at the moment about the pandemic, could this not have been pushed by a few months? Dr. Trivedi will respond to this.
Okay. The first on the philosophical aspect, Zahid शराब पीने दे मस्जिद में बैठकर या फिर बता दे वो जगह जहाँ खुदा नहीं. It is said in your place also, but you insist that it should be in the mosque. But हमारे यहाँ भी कहा गया सिया राम मैं सब जग जानी कर प्रणाम जोड़ पानी की सब जगह इक्वल. बट राम का जन्म स्थान तो एक ही है. जैसे हजरत मोहम्मद साहब सबकी दुआ कबूल करते दुनिया किसी भी कोने में बैठ के, पर आए मक्का मदीना में थे और गए जेरूसलम से थे. So that places cannot be altered. Second thing, about the arrangement is concerned. Prime Ministers, when comes to any program, the security reason, because of security reason, anywhere nobody can move freely. Forget about anywhere anybody can be moving freely. In any place outside Delhi, when Ayodhya, which is not a very big city also, a small town, there is a huge security arrangement is there. And if anybody else goes there, like the Home Minister or the Defense Minister or anybody, and most of the people who are invited are having Z plus security. So there will be a huge security arrangement. So if somebody thinks that they can breach that security arrangement, I think they are having...
No, respond to the part about priorities. When life is on a hold because of the pandemic, this matter has been delayed for decades. Imtiaz Jalil asks, why can't it be pushed by a few more months when it's safer for people to be out and to be together?
Okay, Prime Minister is such a devout and laborious person that even he clears the file while going on the plane and coming back on the plane. And for 2 hours, if somebody is thinking, then I may ask, can you postpone your Bakri, which happens twice a year? And it has happened for after 492 years. And in Hindu system, everything is done by Muhurt. Muhurt means the planetary configuration. And planetary configuration doesn't come continuously. So that's why it is done. For 2 hours, the pandemic will be. What is the connection between the pandemic and the 2 hours Prime Minister being present there? I want to know the answer. What is the connection?
Rahul, he's talking about 2 hours.
This is where I want to bring in our other guests also. I'll start with Imtiaz Bhai. Imtiaz Bhai, 1 second. We've got 2 more guests also. I must go across to them, otherwise they'll complain that I haven't been fair. You've been spectacular, both of you. Very powerful arguments. But let's go across to Atikur Rahman. Let's listen to what he has to say. Mr. Rahman, you know, here's the reality. This is one of the grandest moments in Prime Minister Modi's life, in the life of all fellow travelers of the BJP and the RSS worldview. And therefore, if the Prime Minister goes, and as Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi promises, all norms will be followed. PM security norms, coronavirus norms. Therefore, why should anybody have an objection? Atikur Rahman.
Rahul, it's futile to argue with Sudhanshu ji because they have taken, this Ram Mandir issue as the opium. This has become an opium for them. And this opium is leading our country towards killing secularism. They want to create a theocratic state like Pakistan. They want to kill our secular credentials. And this was the reason, Rahul, that our Amartya Sen, like people said that Modi should never become Prime Minister of India. This is not the question of only pandemic, Rahul.
No, one second. Atikur Rahman, 1 second. Time out. So 1 second. Time out, sir. Listen to my question. Mr. Rahman, now you may not like Prime Minister Modi's face. You may not be happy. Meri baat suniye na, sir. You may not be happy that he got elected, but he's got elected with a whopping mandate. Now you may not like the fact, but he's in power. And how is this theocratic? The BJP fought this case in court along with the VHP. They won through the Supreme Court a judgment. This has been very, very slow and a long time coming. It's not as if they're pushing this through without going through the courts of the law of the land.
For all times to come, Rahul, whether it is a Gram temple or a temple with Asman Chuta, this thing, every posterity, every person will question the existence of Ram temple on the ashes of the Babri Masjid. This will be questioned for all times to come. I would suggest the Prime Minister should abandon this program. They should not participate in this. Let the temple trust build a Asman Chuta Mandir. But the government officials and the government who have taken oath of the constitution should never participate in it.
Okay, so let me put that question to Sriraj Nair of the VHP. When the Somnath temple was being rebuilt and Pandit Nehru as Prime Minister at that time was invited for the Bhumi Pujan, he said that he was leader of a secular country and therefore it would not be fair for him to go. That yes, the religious leaders should do this, but the Prime Minister, the state, the government need not be involved. Therefore, Atikur Rahman questions why Prime Minister Modi needs to go to Ayodhya.
All this debate started when Mr. Imtiaz Zaril, who is the MP of Aurangabad, he had problems with the Maharashtra government issuing a notification how Bakri Eid should be celebrated. Now this entire problem is with the Maharashtra government. Why he took the debate to Ayodhya? This is absolutely hypocrisy. If he had any problems, he could have raised the question with the Maharashtra government. Prime Minister is going for just 2 hours and not more than 200 people are going to be there at one given time. It's a standalone event. This problem, these people, they always swear in the name of constitution. Every time they bring in constitution, but they don't abide by, they selectively abide by the constitution. This is the problem. And now whatever it is, a grand temple at Ayodhya is going to come. Whatever they're going to say, nothing is going to work. If they have problem with Bakri Eid celebration, let them go to the court. Let them object to the Maharashtra government. The fifth, as it is, the trust is going to decide who is going to be the invited or who is not going to be invited. So if the Prime Minister is coming, it is only for 2 hours. This argument is absolutely illogical. This is absolutely illogical, and it's
okay.
Yeah.
Please stay with me. I want to show our viewers our second report tonight, which is an interview with the architect who's designing the grand structure of the Ram temple. And we now have access to images about what the temple will look like, how big it's going to be, the design philosophy of the temple. So just stay with us, and I want to show you this report of, we're seeing this political argument, but what is it that we are hoping to build? Take a look at this report.
This is what the Ram temple in Ayodhya will look like. India today has exclusively accessed details of the new temple design, the foundation of which will be laid on 5th of August. The layout for the Ram Mandir was made in 1985 to 1986, but now that plan has been expanded. The new temple will have 3 floors. Its height will be 161 feet and width 140 feet. Architect Nikhil Sompura, son of the project's chief architect Chandrakant Sompura, has prepared the new design.
पहले जो 2 मंजिल का मंदिर बनाया था, अभी हमने 3 मंजिल के करके अब 3 मंजिल बना के फिर उसके ऊपर शिखर बन के हम मंदिर को विस्तार उसकी भव्यता बनाने के लिए बनाया गया। दूसरा, इसके अंदर भगवान रामलला की ये देखिए, यहाँ से प्रवेश करेंगे, यहाँ भी लोग कीर्तन करेंगे, बैठेंगे, यहाँ से यात्री जाएंगे, यहाँ भी लोग बैठेंगे, यहाँ से रोड लगाई जाएगी, लोग यहाँ अंदर आएंगे, यहाँ सब कीर्तन या वेटिंग एरिया होगा।
Lakhs of devotees are expected to visit the temple. The design plan has been expanded to accommodate the surge of visitors.
ये परिक्रमा रहेगी। हमारा मंदिर जो है वो अस्कोन है, तो हमारी परिक्रमा भी अस्कोन के हिसाब के में परिक्रमा बनेगी और यहाँ से आदमी परिक्रमा करके जाएगा। ये जो चबूतरा है ऊपर वाला, ये भी एक परिक्रमा है, ये ओपन टू स्काई परिक्रमा रहेगी।
While the look of the temple is similar to the old design, it will now have 5 domes instead of 3 that were originally planned.
इतने एरिया के अंदर जो मंदिर का हमारा तो 40% पत्थर तैयार पड़ा था, जो करीब है 17,000 CFT। नए प्लान के हिसाब से अब इसमें कुल 5 गुंबद हो जाएंगे और शिखर एक ही रहेगा जो रामलला के ऊपर बनेगा।
The three-story temple will have 318 pillars, with 106 pillars on each floor. According to architect Nikhil Sompura, all pillars will have imagery from Hindu mythology.
कि ये मंदिर नागर शैली का है, तो नागर शैली के हिसाब से ही उसका विस्तृतीकरण किया गया है और पिलर के ऊपर जो भी मूर्तिकार जी की है, तो राम के जो पूरा जीवन चरित्र है उसके ऊपर प्रसंग लेके करें कि हनुमान जी का है, फिर कृष्ण जी का है, मतलब जो अपने हिंदू मैथोलॉजी है उसके साथ जो अपने को मतलब ट्रस्ट के साथ बात करेंगे, जो बताएंगे संत लोग, उसकी मूर्ति स्थापित ये पिलरों में कंडारी जाएगी, बनाई जाएगी।
Spread over 69 acres, this will be the only temple in the world with 5 domes. Construction is expected to be complete by 2023. Bureau Report, India Today.
You know, it does look stunning. It does look stunning, the design on paper. Now the hope is to be able to recreate that on the ground. Will this, Dr. Trivedi, be a symbol of unity of India being brought together? Or as Atikur Rahman feared, that this could become a living manifestation of a growing fissure in Indian society?
Rahul, if Mr. Atikur Rahman or Mr. Zamir try to come out of his myopic view, I just want to say, India is the only country in the documented history of the world which never went for invasion, which never went for annexation. Why? When Bhagwan Ram has conquered Lanka, has he annexed Lanka? No. Has he deputed a viceroy? No. Has he tried to do conversion? No. So that will become a symbol for the entire geopolitics of today.
Look,
in the clash of civilizations, there will be a coherence. And moreover, if there are
opium.
अरे भाई आप डिस्टर्ब मत करिए। और अगर आपके यहाँ 4 बेटे हो तो क्या चाहिए? आपका बेटा इतना आपको मानता हो कि आपके एक वचन के ऊपर जंगल जाने को तैयार हो और 4 भाइयों में इतना प्यार हो कि एक जंगल जाने को तैयार हो, दूसरा काम रखने को तैयार हो। क्या आप चाहेंगे कि आपके 4 बेटे हो तो उनमें क्या तरीका है?
You are a plot on Indian secularism, nothing else.
No, one second. No, one second. Atikur Rahman, your audio goes down. 1 second. Fade us down. This is not the way I run debates. This is not the way I like to run the news track. You will speak one at a time. Try and have a sensible conversation. Engage through the power of your idea, not through the noise that you make. Let Dr. Trivedi come and I'll come back to Atikur Rahman to respond. Don't jump in uninvited, please. Dr. Trivedi.
Yes, I am beginning, starting from India is the only country in the documented history of the world which never went for invasion, which never done any annexation. Because in Ramayana, when Bhagwan Ram has conquered Lanka, he is neither annexed, not put in deputy, nor tried to do conversion. So this will become an example in the era of so-called clash of civilization, a symbol of coherence. And as far as this is for the geopolitics of the 21st century, if India wants to become the world leader. And as far as the religion is concerned, Mr. Atikur Rahman is saying, again I will repeat, First Lady of the South Korea, she is not Hindu. The King of Thailand, King Rama IX, is not Hindu. And the Indonesia, which is the Muslim country, and the entire West, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, they are Christian, not Hindu. And lastly, I would like to say, अगर आपकी फैमिली में 4 बेटे हो तो क्या चाहिए? कि आपका एक बेटे इतने आज्ञाकारी हो कि आपके एक वचन के लिए सब कुछ छोड़ने को तैयार हो और भाइयों में इतना प्यार हो, एक जंगल जाए तो दूसरा जंगल जाने को तैयार हो, तीसरा खड़ाऊ रखने को तैयार हो, या आप चाहेंगे यह है राम की परंपरा। और दूसरा जो आपने बाबरी बात कही, बाबर की परंपरा यह है कि एक बेटा औरंगजेब की तरह, शुजा मुराद और दारा की तरह तीनों का कत्ल कर दे, बुढ़ापे में शाहजहां के रूप में अपने बाप को जेल में रखे और अपने बड़े भाई की खोपड़ी थाली में सजाकर जेल में रखे बाप को दे। यह है बाबर की परंपरा। और भाई की खड़ाऊ थाली में रख के शासन करे, यह है राम की परंपरा। फ्रॉम geopolitics to your domestic situation, it will become the symbol of the highest value of the human civilization.
Now, Atikur Rahman, the reality is, like it or not, the Ram temple is here to stay. It will be built. It's the mandate of the Supreme Court. It's the will of the elected government. And they have a democratic mandate backing them. But if you say the kind of things that you're saying, far from the temple becoming a symbol of hope, of unity, it's almost as if you're pushing it to divide society more then society is already divided.
Rahul, even we wanted the temple to be a symbol of unity. But look at the judgment, with all due regards to the Honorable Court. The judgment itself is marked by killing secularism. The judgment could have been maintaining both the communities coming together, one building the temple and the other the masjid. Look at the VHP. The moment the court said that within the limits of Ayodhya, they said never within the limits of Ayodhya we will allow a masjid to come up. You want this to be a symbol of unity? How can you expect this, Rahul? Your viewers are looking at the BJP spokesperson, how he is intoxicated with the Ram issue, how he is intoxicated by our history. Our history is not only Ram, Rahul. Our history is Buddha, Kalam. Our history is Nanak, Kabir. This is our history, Sudhanshu ji. Not only Ram. How many Vaishnavas are there, Rahul? Tell me in India.
Okay.
Can I respond?
You know, you've had your say. I'm out of time on this debate. Sir, 20 seconds because I'm completely out of time. Dr. Trivedi, since that's a question thrown at you, I'll give you 20 seconds to respond. Quick final words, please.
I'm unable to understand what he was trying to say. I have clearly answered. उन्होंने कहा नानक और कबीर. तो कबीर ने क्या क्या घटघट रामायण हमें रहा तो को राम पहचान. और गुरु नानक ने क्या कहा है? गुरु ग्रंथ साहब का जो आखिरी दोहा है वो भगवान राम को ही समर्पित है. राम नाम सिमरन करो जाके सम नहीं कोय, सिमरत ही संकट मिटे दरस दिखावे सोए. दिस इज द लास्ट लाइन ऑफ द गुरु ग्रंथ साहब. क्या बात करते हैं आप? और है राम के वजूद पे हिंदुस्तान को नाज, अहले नजर समझती है इनको इमाम हिंद. ये अल्लामा इकबाल ने कहा, मगर आपको नहीं समझ में आता. अब्दुल रहीम खान खाना, सैयद इब्राहिम रस खान, अल्लामा इकबाल को पढ़िए तब समझ में आएगा. मगर आप वो पढ़ने के बजाय बाबर, तुगलक, औरंगजेब, इशरत जहां, याकूब मेनन, जाकिर नायक में आते हैं. ये प्रॉब्लम है.
You know, I can go on. This debate is just about heating up and it can go on all evening long. But I'm out of time. We've debated philosophy, politics, religion, culture. You've heard two different points of view. As always on the News Track, I don't take sides. We don't tell you what to think. We bring people with opposing points of view, allow them to showcase their ideas and leave it to you, our viewers, to decide which side of this religious, political, cultural argument you stand on. Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi, Imtiaz Jalil, Shriraj Nair, Atikur Rahman for lighting up the News Track. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.